about to start my live video. All right, here we go. We are doing a new episode of Weekly Manos Live. And what am I talking about this week? We are talking about the upcoming Marvel murder mystery. And Joker wins top prize at the Venice Film Festival. Also, I'll be throwing a poll question to you guys. So let's get going here. I'm going to do my usual thing. I'm going to essentially, what do you call it, like share this video with people. And while I do that, hello, Nightwing. I want to let you know that this week I got in my copies from my printer that I did the Kickstarter relaunch for, and I'm going to spend the next couple of days packaging these babies up and shipping them out. For those that backed the project, they should be getting it probably the week after next. I'm going to probably send them out midweek or at the end of the week. I stupidly forgot to buy more of these boards, so I don't really have enough. And I also have to buy the the mailing or something. Oh, we need to get the stamp thing. We need to buy the
old postal scale broke.
Yeah, that's right. Our postal scale broke. We're okay. We're fine. We're moving on. Hey, my co-host wife Lindsay is in the background.
Hello.
And she'll be here occasionally to react to things I say. If I don't know if they amuse her. But let's see. Let me just get going here. And we are live. And I wish there was a better way a quicker way I could do this. Or at least come up with a way I can multitask so I can be entertaining while I share this. But no, that's possible. I think you can only be so entertaining when you're typing. Okay. And let's see, here we go. And that's it. Okay. Oops, I did something. Okay. Now let's go over here. And we're going to be talking about some cool things, some awesome things. Oh, mainly Joker and the Marvel murder mystery that's coming up. It's incoming, actually. That's what it's called. And actually, let me get going on that story first. So, wow, this is the longest computer thing ever. Okay. Do it. Okay. So, let's start talking about our headline. We got a headline. The Marvel murder mystery. And let's see, the next big Marvel event is going to be called Incoming! And essentially, it's going to be a murder mystery, not too dissimilar to the one DC just did, which was called Heroes in Crisis. And then a few years ago, they had Identity Crisis. So this Marvel is called Incoming. Or Incoming! And I vow to say it every time. Because, yeah, we had the big War of Realms, which was like this epic fantasy, Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings type of thing, done with Thor. And now we have Incoming, which is a murder mystery, a little bit more toned down type of story. It is, according to this, I'm going to read this right off screenrant.com. Nothing builds suspense like a good murder mystery. And that is exactly what Marvel Comics is using to end the calendar year on a high note. Yeah, nothing like murder to end on a high note. According to the latest Incoming teaser dropped by the comics publisher, an unidentified body covered by a white sheet will be hiding a major component of the universe's next big event, surrounded by distraught heroes, including every member of the Fantastic Four. Caption reading, "Solve the puzzle before the heroes of the Marvel Universe seem to confirm that the corpse is just another piece of a much larger, even more mysterious riddle. At the very least, Black Panther, Captain Marvel, Iron Man, Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Woman, the Human Torch, and the Thing, and Valkyrie can all be ruled out as victims. But are they potential murderers? Only time will tell. So this essentially is going to be a murder mystery, and apparently it's going to maybe even launch maybe some other kind of storyline, or maybe a bigger story that maybe the murder victim was maybe holding back or covering or knew something about or preventing. So that's probably what's going on. Let's see. And yeah, I mean, a lot of people are comparing it to the recent Heroes in Crisis, but I don't know. It almost sounds more similar to Identity Crisis, which, man, I hope it's not too much like that, because I really do feel like the beginning and the end of really great DC started with that. Because Identity Crisis is one of those stories that, yeah, it came out and you liked it, and then time goes by and you think about it and like, oh, yeah, that's not that good of a story, and it led to worse stories. So when it first came out, I thought highly of it, and now these days I don't think very much of it. I think there's a lot of bad that came from that miniseries. So that makes me less excited for this. I am concerned of who could be murdered here. Obviously, like the article says, it's very likely not any of the people standing around looking at the corpse. Although, that didn't stop Wally West. But it's most likely not one of these people. All these guys have movies, except for Iron Man. So we'll see. It's probably someone more connected to Fantastic Four, according to this article. I guess my big fear is them killing Alicia Masters, which would be an amazingly shitty thing to do. She and Thing just got married, and that kind of borders on the fridging thing. So we'll see about that. And I don't know if it's leaning to a bigger mystery. It might not be Alicia. It might be some other character. I don't know. I keep thinking about who it could possibly be. Someone connected to both the Fantastic Four and Avengers in a big way. So I'm been thinking about who could that be? I was wondering if it could be Rick Jones, but he doesn't really have any real strong ties to the Fantastic Four. So not quite clear. What do you, the viewers at home, think? Who do you think might be the murdered victim? That's how we do things now. It's a mystery of who will be murdered. And then after we find out who murdered that person. So that's essentially where we're going with this. You can let me know let's see, let's have some fun. Who do you think might be murdered here? Let's see, let's go to some comments here. I already got some stuff here. Anthony, Malachite Invasion, Midgard, Nightwing. I'm calling it, it's either the MCU, Tony Stark, or or Spider-Man's marriage. How dare they murder Spider-Man's marriage again? So I don't know. Actually, from what I gather from that cover, it's hard to tell from the way the sheets over the person is if they're a man or a woman. They've very thankfully or unthankfully left it a little vague, so it can't even determine what the gender is of the possible victim. So it could be, I don't know, anybody. The feet sticking out at the end look like a white person, so that's at least something. That's kind of it. That's kind of what I have there. So yeah, we'll see about that. I don't know who else it could be. I guess my big fear is Alicia. But I don't know. I think Dan Slott's been investing so much in that part of the storyline. I can't really see him doing that. Who's writing this? Let's see. Let me take a look. I don't even know who's writing this thing. It doesn't really say. No, I don't know who could be writing this. I can't really tell at the moment. It's interesting that the murder mystery is called Incoming with a big exclamation point. So I guess that does like suggest it leads to a bigger story than simply the murder mystery. So it looks like we won't be getting something like a classic intimate locked room murder mystery. Besides, Marvel really, that's not really Marvel's thing. Marvel doesn't really like to do things small and intimate. Vague Marvel teaser. Yeah. I was gonna start this off as a vague Marvel teaser with the theme song, but I don't know. That's a little too specific. That's a little too much detail for vague Marvel teasers because vague Marvel teasers are like, they'll give you an H and like, oh, fuck, are we supposed to determine from that like an H? But I don't know. I think God wasn't the Hickman writing X-Men was a real big vague Marvel teaser. So yeah, we'll find out. By the way, I plan to do more vague Marvel teaser discussions in this. I think that's probably something that's missing on my channel. Let me put that there. So let's see. There's also another story here, and let's go across the bay over to DC. And this is their film franchise here. And I'm reading this off of IndieWire.com. And apparently today or last night, the Joker film wins Venice Film Festival Golden Lion Award. Also, Roman Polanski gets Grand Jury Prize. So it was a big week for creeps. So if you're a creep, this is it's a good week for you. Let's see. Let me take a look here. Yeah, the 2019 Venice International Film Festival has wrapped, and this year's edition has announced its award winners. The Golden Lion Festival's top went to Joker, which is a strong statement from this year's competition that led. Let's see the complete list of this year's winners below. In recent years, the Venice Golden Lion has gone to films that went to have like legs in awards season conversation. Lion went to like Roma, Green Book, The Shape of Water, which is a great film. And let's see, yeah, there's a lot of talk about Joaquin Phoenix's role as the Joker film for like future awards, like the Academy Awards. How crazy would it be for a second actor within, let's say, 11 years? 11 years later, for playing the Joker, like again, that's like within 20 years, two different actors playing like the same character, winning. Yeah, okay. If you want an Oscar, you got to play the Joker. So yeah, I gotta say, before I move on to question and answers, I've been following this Joker film and I've been finding it interesting and I've been looking forward to it. I have heard some people, share this fear that it might be inspirational to the creeps of the world. These same guys who think, take the worst possible lessons from like Fight Club and the Matrix and stuff like that, and use it to fit their horrifying worldviews. Like to a lesser extent, like the Michael Douglas film Falling Down. I gotta tell you, every time I remember that scene where he like pulls his gun out at McDonald's because he like loses it because they changed the breakfast or something like that, and that's one of the things that kind of sets him off. He pulls his gun out and because there was breakfast and he wanted breakfast, but they've already moved to lunch, and he has that tense scene with the guy behind the counter, and like I feel sorry for the guy behind the counter. I don't give a fuck about Michael Douglas's character. Like, hey man, we all got problems. I ain't like shooting up at McDonald's because I can't get a DLT or whatever the fuck. DLT. I don't think they have those anymore. The cakes. Yeah, like hot cakes. Yeah, go eat some shit, Michael Douglas character from Falling Down. Yeah, you take that movie from the 90s. I don't, I gotta tell you, we here at the Real Manos make sure we take out like the big targets. We're not afraid to talk about a movie from the 90s. So, all right, let's see. Joker's going to prepare. Oh, this is Nightwing. Joker's going to prepare. Ugh, I can't talk. Joker's going to premiere here in Toronto on Monday for the 2019 Toronto International Film Festival. Another win for Canada. Not too bad. I keep forgetting the film is coming out in October. I keep thinking it's just about a week away, but no, we got like a full month or so away. Let's see, Marion McDaniel. Hey, Marion. You think Sony pulling Spider-Man out of the MCU is eventually going to backfire on them? Possibly not. Here's the thing. If they can keep the same team that's been producing the films, and they weren't MCU hires; they were Sony hires. The guys writing the movie, so they didn't have the contract with the MCU. They had it with Sony, so Sony can keep those guys on for Spider-Man 3 and 4 if they want. My feeling is if head honchos at Sony will not, if they don't interfere with the movie and just let the creators create, that maybe they can pull this out. So if they like try to interfere and like worried about it not being Sony enough or too Disney and want to screw with the movie, that's going to be on them. Because like the problems, I like the two Amazing Spider-Man films from Mark Webb. Mainly because I saw Mark Webb's vision through those movies, while at the same time I could see the Sony interference. Like, the things that were wrong with both those films really do feel like they were like studio notes. Almost, you could practically have, God, you could probably put like addendums like on the screen, like, oh hey, the studio thought this, studio thought this. So the film I could see him wanting to make, I enjoy that movie, with all this bullshit going around. My hope is they don't do that again. My hope is that they can learn the lessons from the two Tom Holland Spider-Mans, as well as their Spider-Verse film, which, to be honest, from what I understand, they pretty much left alone and let the creators make that film. I don't know. It's just like there's show and there's business, and the people who do the business need to leave the show alone. The problem is when you're in show business, you think, hey, I'm a creative guy. Like, no, you basically just write the checks. You're not a creative guy. Just write the checks for the correct people and leave them the fuck alone. And that's one of the smarter things Disney often does, is they hire the right people and then leave them the fuck alone. For the most part, I'm not going to pretend. So, it could still be successful for them, and we'll see. And here's the thing. I think Marvel can move on. They have a plenty of they have like 80,000 billion Marvel characters. I think they'll be fine. And Spider-Man movies, I feel like we were like one or two away from that kind of up anyway. So I think everybody will be okay if everyone plays their cards right. If Marvel handles, I assume Marvel had a plan B for Spider-Man not being in the universe anymore. And I assume also Sony had the same thinking. So if everyone can stay on target, I think everybody will be okay. But we'll see. This is definitely a we'll see. Let's see where we're going here. Nightwing, Joker's going to, I already read that. Nightwing, if you want to talk about it, was Rose the real villain in Steven Universe, the movie? My thoughts are maybe. And you know what? After Steven Universe, the movie came out, I've been thinking about doing this as a video. Because I've been wondering if Rose Quartz gets too much hate for her mistakes, to the point where people call her the villain of the series. And I don't know if that's fair. Hey, Lindsay, what do you think? Do you think that's fair to call her like the villain of the series?
I don't think she's villain of this series. Mostly because she doesn't do any of these things to be in a malicious way.
Yes. Or, yeah.
It's just that she's made a lot of mistakes.
True, and I think a lot of people who call Rose Quartz the villain tend to gloss over the fact that Earth would have been fucking destroyed if she hadn't done what she'd done. Like, all the human characters you like so much, they would have never been born if not for Rose Quartz. I've been thinking about doing a video about this because I feel like she screwed up a lot, and she was doing her best, but she didn't quite get the job done. I do think in some ways she did take the easy way out in a lot of cases. But I can understand why she would give into that. So I am thinking about making a video on that because I don't know. Right now, I think it's very popular to shit on Rose Quartz. I can't help but wonder if that's partly due to fans feeling betrayed by her, which is really cool. And I'll be honest with you, I feel like that's a real strong testament to the writing of the character in the show, that people would be feeling actually betrayed as if they were characters in the show by this fictional person. So yeah, I don't know if I'd call her the villain of the film. I still put that on Spindell, because she could have not tried to murder billions of people because she was mad. She ended up making the right choice, but no, I would not call her the villain of the movie. Let's see. Do you think Rose began to feel remorse for her actions toward the end? Yes, very much. I think she felt remorse all the way through. Frankly, I don't think she. Let's see. She is I may have to like I said, I think I am going to do probably a video about this, but I think she comes from a place of royalty and from a place of privilege. And I do think that's within the writing too, of someone who is trying to do right for people that she feels are underprivileged, but she's still coming from her vantage point, and you can be blinded in that regard. And she was blind when it came to some people suffering. And in regards to the diamonds, I'm convinced she didn't believe they would care if she was killed off, which is partly why she killed off Pink Diamond. So yeah, there's some thoughtlessness in some of her behavior, and I don't know. I do think at the end she did. I think at the beginning, middle, and end, really. Maybe not on everything. We'll probably not know how she felt about Spindell, but let's see. Nightwing says, I don't think she's the villain, just very flawed. And yes, and that's actually one of the things. I think she's not only one of the most fascinating characters in Steven Universe, I feel like she's one of the most fascinating characters in TV animation, Western animation. Because there's a lot going on. She does a lot of good and wrong. She's also dead and reborn at the same time. So a lot of what we learned through Rose is through the characters that she cared about, and how she affected their lives. It's very interesting. She's almost the Citizen Kane of cartoon characters. I think that's on my to-do list. I think I'm gonna do a video about that because I do think it's gotten a little too popular to just call her the bad guy or even evil. I know in the beginning of the big reveal, I know some people were straight up angry. It's rather funny. Some people were so hurt and betrayed by that. They were like calling her evil and shit like that. It's like, I think you need to tone it down a bit, Pidge. Thoughts on Spadell? I really enjoyed the character quite a bit. Um, I I think I'll save this for my longer spoiler review, but yeah, she's an impressive creation because she could have very easily been redundant. Maybe some people think she is redundant to some of the other villains of character that was wronged by rose quartz, but um, yeah, I don't know. Just that whole sequence of her standing and waiting for 6,000 years. That's almost I almost can't imagine what that's like, and I can't imagine what that would do to someone's mind. Um, so she's a really impressive villain. She's also she has that goofy 30s cartoon thing going on and the stretchiness, and to use that and apply that to a villain, I think makes the character like really frightening in a way, because that's something you usually see in goofy and annoying knockoff characters, and to put that kind of thing in a person trying to murder you is kind of scary. So yeah, I'm very happy. And you know what? Sarah Stiles, I think her name is, voice actress. Like, man, look, she needs to play Harley Quinn tomorrow. That's the best Harley Quinn voice I've heard in forever. Let's see. Let's see. Well, if you think about it, the Diamonds drove Rose do some of the things she did. Yeah, they did. Put her in some pretty shitty positions. So I can't, it was thoroughly explained. And, when the big reveal happened and we had to wait for a while, the things we found out, I kind of figured that was probably the case. Like, the Diamonds didn't seem like they'd be really open to her ideas. So yeah, they put her in a position where she thought she didn't matter to them. So who cares if Pink Diamond dies? I'm going to do this my way. And that was kind of her way of reinvention. Okay. Yeah, Spinell was kind of like Pennywise to me, or Scary Plastic Man. That's Plastic Man's scary no matter what. Let's see. Nightwing's like, thank you. Let's see, on the Harley thing. Yeah. That was definitely one of the first things I thought about the character. And you know what? I'm of a person where I don't know. I feel like I like Harley better as a villain. And we don't get to see her like aggressively angry, mean, evil villain as much. And I kind of like to see a little bit more of that, frankly. And this kind of gave me that. So, that was pretty enjoyable. Amitron, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I feel like more old school rubber hose style cartoons should come back. Yeah, and you know what? Thanks to a thing called Cuphead, the video game, that's becoming a little bit more in vogue. And I'm someone who like grew up seeing that kind of thing, and it's kind of nice to see it pop back in and stuff like that. Because like when I was a kid, they used to show everything on syndication in the 70s, like no matter what. Like, okay, here's some crappy 30s cartoons. We're just gonna put this in the Tom and Jerry hour or whatever the fuck. So yeah, I'd see all those woo kind of characters over and over again. So it's kind of funny to place that type of character in this context. Let's see. Spin-off shows still can work. I always love them. Benny and Popeye is my favorite cartoon. So that explains it. I really like the Max Flesher Popeye stuff. I think that's probably the best Popeye. Like, it's so weird. Like how it's so weird for me right now to see how dead Popeye is mostly. And growing up, I mean, God, he was just such an icon for so many years. It's like, I barely see him. I barely hear anybody talk about him. I know kids mostly don't know who he is. And that's a little weird for it to be that out. And I'm really disappointed that Sony didn't go through with the proposed Popeye movie. I've seen a I don't know if test reel like of a scene, and holy crap, that looked really great, and I'm really disappointed that didn't get made. But I don't know, maybe somewhere down the line. But I think that was uh, Tartakovsky doing it. So I don't know. He may have moved on, but I don't know. It'd be great to see it. It'd be great to see some kind of like creator jump in and do something really fresh and fun with it, and not repeat the stereotypical Popeye thing that eventually the thing became. Like it would be great if somebody took and went and did something like an animated series or a film based on the really old like comic strips, which kind of got it started. Because the comic strip was originally about Olive and her brothers, and Popeye showed up and was kind of the coolest thing ever. So he basically took over the strip, and her brothers eventually became very. I mean, I didn't even know they existed until like 10 years ago. It's like, oh wait, she has brothers. So yeah, Popeye is that long tradition of characters so cool they take over, like Fonzie and Wolverine and Rousdower. Much cooler than the lead hero. Let's see. Marion says, I know this won't ever happen ever, but how do you think it would affect Steven if he was forced to shatter a rogue gem that he couldn't save? Yeah, you know what? I was wondering if we would get something like that in this film. Oh, spoilers. But you know what? I think we can probably we can actually kind of like interpret something that happened very briefly in this movie. Was there's a shot of him, that shot of him like with the scythe, and he's about to like slice Spinell in half, which was really awesome and very cool move, by the way. You could see on his face, if you go back and look at him attacking, he has this look on his face like he doesn't want to do it, like he's kind of upset by it. And I think that would be pretty kind of cut and dry for like how he would probably approach things. Like, if he whacks somebody, he's not going to be happy about it. It's the last thing he wants to do, but he'll do it, which I think is interesting. Let's see. I'm gonna try and because Sony chose to do the Emoji movie instead. That's true, I know. Bad choice. Now who's in control of Spider-Man again? Oh yeah. Let's see. Look, anybody can learn from their mistakes. I mean, it could happen again, but I don't know. Anybody can learn too. All right. Yeah, Popeye was the original breakout character. I mean, hell, he was the Fonz before the Fonz. Yeah, I mean, yeah. That's kind of how it goes. And sorry, uncool lead characters. Cool supporting characters will always kind of take over. That's just kind of how the rule is, I guess. So let's see. What else? Do I have anything? There wasn't very much interesting stuff going on here this past week. Let's see. I only had two little things I wanted to talk about. If you watch Mackenzie Atwood's 10-hour video of Spinell waiting in the garden, it will play as, guess who's these eyes playing in the background. It's dark and funny. Yeah. I couldn't believe she did that video, but yeah, Lindsay, Mackenzie Atwood did a loop of Spinell waiting in the garden for 10 hours as a video.
Oh.
And it just kind of hits home like, okay, maybe it's a piece of how that felt. Good Lord. Yeah, I mean, just painful to watch for just a minute. And I think she takes like the music out. She's just waiting. And it's so dark. Let's see. I don't recommend watching the whole. I don't know if anybody ever really watches a 10-hour video.
Yeah, they watch 30 seconds and then skip ahead.
Yeah.
And then skip ahead.
That's the smart thing.
Yeah.
Let's see. Just repeat it a few thousand times and we got the most accurate depiction. Correct. That's how it works. Let's see. Yeah, we don't have too much like awesome, cool news going on. But so just let me say a few things that's going on in my life, the life of me, the real Manos. I once did on a road trip to Washington a 10-hour video. Let's see. Like I mentioned at the start, I got in my copies of Red Knight #1 from the Manos publishing label. And they look beautiful. It looks great. I'm very happy with the printer I'm working with. And I'll be using them for the time being on my projects. These look really good. So I'm going to get started on getting the packages together for the backers. If any of you Kickstarter backers are watching right now, I just want to say thank you. You're great, and you'll be getting this soon. I think this one has the sticker. Yeah, this one has the sticker in it. Now, hey, if you want one but didn't back the project on Kickstarter, that's cool. This is going to officially come out at the end of the month. I've kind of slated it for September 30th, I think. I think that's the realistic time to put it out. So if you dig this, if you want to support me, if you want to buy my stuff, September 30th is when it officially goes on sale on manospublishing.com. And I'm going to be doing the book as quarterly. So after that, issue 2 is going to be coming out in December, and book's pretty much ready. So we just got to piece it together. I got to put a couple of ads in it. Oh, and I got to write a little column for it. Okay, it's not ready. It's got a couple things to do, but it's mostly ready. It's like 80% ready, I'd say. So that's what's going on. The Vita is still available on the Manos Publishing website. So let's see. There was going to be something else. I was thinking about doing. Hello. Oh, hey, Bizarre Critic. How you doing? Let's see. I know you're taking a break, but when are you going to start reading Batman again? Oh, that's a great question. I don't know. I've had this horrifying realization over the last few months that I'm okay right now without Batman, which is kind of shocking to me. Like, Batman has always been one of the most important characters in my life, and like I have 80 billion Batman comics. I mean, I bought Batman straight for decades, and yeah, I don't know when I'm coming back. I assume soon. Here there was a lot of talk about how acclaimed Tom King's run on Batman was when he first started it, and I was like, oh shit, this is a bad time for me to take a break from Batman. Tom King's writing him, but now I've been hearing people like go back and forth on the runs. So my initial thought of like going back and buying the trades is, maybe I won't go back and buy the trades. But I don't know. We'll just see. Look, I wasn't sure if I'd ever go back to Spider-Man. And the last year and a half, I've like gone back to Spider-Man in a huge way. So anything can happen. I mean, I do love the character, but I'm okay. Right now, I'm okay. I did go back to Wonder Woman, which I was very I was able to go back to Wonder Woman. Let's see. Omnitron. I'm almost at that level with Superman comics. The only time I took a break from Superman was with New 52. Tried to stick with him, but New 52 Superman wasn't Superman. I would want to read. Yeah, it wasn't the Superman I wanted to read. And that's kind of how New 52 was a big deal to me too. It was initially the one. Let's see, how many? I think I was buying 12 books from DC New 52, and like right off the bat, there was a couple titles that just left me feeling cold. A couple right off the bat. I knew I did not care for the direction Catwoman was going. There was a couple others too that just wasn't my thing. And I think Wonder Woman #7, where the Amazons were turned out to be like awful rapey monsters. That was kind of like my sign of like, okay, you know what? Maybe this version of DC is not my thing. And then like I mean, just like an Agatha Christie story, like titles were dropping. Then I had only Batman left, and it was like, okay, this Quarter Owls thing is pretty good, so let me just finish up with this arc, and then I'll take a break from Batman as well. And then the Quarter Owls just kept going. It was like a year-long storyline, and had like side issues and shit like that. So that was the last. That was the last of the titles. I actually went 13 because I wanted to read one more issue from that. And yeah, going back, I was really excited when DC did the Rebirth rebranding, because it did lose a lot of the stuff I hated about New 52, and it did seem like a big kind of return to what made the DC characters great, and they've mostly stuck to that. It's just there's a problem that's, I think, happened with me in New 52, is that New 52 was the final straw for me, because I've been reading DC comics for years, and I would see reboot after reboot and reshuffling the deck, and it would get frustrating, and you get used to it, and you go on. And New 52 just felt like one more that I just could not like stand. And that's the difference between DC and Marvel. Marvel, with all its bullshit that is over there with the renumbering and the retcons and the reshuffling of the status quo and all that crap, and it does have alternate dimensions too. They're able to kind of keep a better sense of continuity, where DC does not. And they keep, every time they do one of these reboots, they do it halfway. Like, okay, we're going to keep this cool stuff, but we're going to change this stuff. And like, oh, no, wait, you're going to change this stuff back to that stuff. I don't know how to get invested in your thing anymore, DC. I really want to. There's some stuff I really, really love in your universe, and matters to me, but I don't know. It almost feels like it doesn't matter to you. So it's kind of hard for me to get involved, or stay involved, I should say. So yeah, New 52 was that like line in the sand for me. And I've been able to go back. I've been reading Justice League. I've been loving Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman's been great. And I've been reading a few things. I read Young Justice for a while. There's a couple of DC titles here and there I've been reading, but I don't know. I'm just not back into it enough as I thought I would be. And same thing with Batman. And to be honest, it's kind of nice been taking a Batman break. I guess that's what I've been calling it, my Batman break. So yeah, I don't know. I seriously could return any time. The thing, all it needs is for it to capture my imagination once, and it could be anything. So who knows? Let's see. Omnitron, outside of the Red Trunks being dropped, there was nothing that stuck with the New 52 outside of the comics, even though even that has gotten reversed with classic Superman costume and coming back. Yeah, I know. To be honest, like losing the Red Trunks was fine with me, but I mean all the other like changes they made. And you're right, the Red Trunk thing, like that's the most minuscule change they could make, and that didn't even stick. And oh, hey, Deadpoolzilla, how you doing? And that's kind of one of the things is like, everybody goes back to normal, back to the status quo. I don't know. Let's see. Deadpoolzilla says, if you haven't already, you need to read Immortal Hulk. And I know. It's just been, I've stretched my budget a lot over the last couple of years, and I've been buying a lot of superhero stuff. I think from where I've been thinking, I think what I'm going to probably start doing is buy Immortal Hulk and Hulk. I'm going to buy Immortal Hulk in trade. I think that might be the way to go. But I keep hearing such glowing stuff about it. I'm really excited about it. And it's fun to be excited about Hulk again. he's had his fits and starts, but to be honest, I've never been excited about the Hulk since Peter David left. Do you think the gods would fear Godzilla? Everyone will fear Godzilla. So yes. Mortal Hulk is the best thing Hulk's had since Peter David's run. Yeah, I believe that. I've heard some good things about Bruce Jones' run. And the Jeff Loeb run was not great. I could even tell. I didn't read it, but I could tell offhand. I could, just being a casual observer of the book that was coming out, I could tell. There was another good run on the book, and I can't remember. Somebody else had a really recent good run on the book, and I can't remember now. Damn it. Mortal Hulk introduces a lot of elements from David's run. Yeah. Well, yeah, David did like deal with some really horrifying aspects, and he's the one. I think David may have been the first one to say how immortal the Hulk is, and people would he would. I've heard him say this before. Like people asked him, like, how would you end the Hulk? And matter of fact, Marvel was doing a series of one shots and miniseries called The End, where they gave like the most kind of prolific creators of their characters a chance to tell their ending story for the characters. And when they came to Peter David and asked him if he'd write a story for the end of the Hulk, and he said, there is no real end. He outlives all of humanity until it's just him and the cockroaches. So he does that, and that's his Hulk the End story. And there's some aspects of that, like seeing like even in the MCU Avengers, like one of the darkest lines in the first Avengers movie is like Bruce Banner talks about how he, put a gun in his mouth and pulled the trigger and he spit it out. Like, yeah, that's Peter David Hulk. Let's see. I could get a John Carpenter feel with Immortal Hulk. Omnitron also says more David Cronenberg for Immortal Hulk than Carpenter. Yeah, there's a lot of Cronenberg. And from what I've seen, I've been watching Kate Joel review Immortal Hulk, and just from what I've been seeing, it's like, holy shit, that is okay. It's like, hey, what if the MCU hired David Cronenberg to do a Hulk movie? That's what we'd get. How fucked up would that be? Hey, MCU, Kevin Feige hired David Cronenberg to do a Hulk. Let's see. Kind of dug the John Byrne run, as short as it is. Yeah, good point, Deadpoolzilla. John Byrne's run was short, but really game-changing for the Hulk. He made some big changes in a very short time. I think he was planning to stick with the character longer, but only got a chance to do so much. And then there's some things. I think I can't remember the name of the writer. There was one writer who created the idea of Banner's dad being an abusive, murdering monster. And he did that as one issue, and it was meant to kind of tie loose ends up and do some backstory. And he didn't build off it. And that's one of the things that Peter David used to build off his entire run of the Hulk, because he was thinking like, no, you don't end with this. You begin with this. And you can open up a whole lot of doors. And that's what he's done. Yeah, Peter David changed the character for the best, because he is described like Hulk was the title nobody wanted at Marvel. Like if you were being punished, you were given the Hulk and you felt like you were being punished. Like, what did I do to get the Hulk? Because no one had any idea what to do with him for about 20 fucking years. It was basically in that same rotating cycle. Yeah, for fans who like bitch and moan about changes to characters, the Hulk, I guess through the 70s and early 80s, that's what happens when you don't change a character. Nothing happens, and it just runs on fumes. And that's kind of what was going on for like 15 years. let's see. John Byrne will always be the best Superman writer to me. Yeah, yeah, I agree. Even today, when I hear him talk about his work on Superman, it's like, damn, you just understood the shit out of this character, man. You just nailed it. Even when they try to change it, I don't know. It was one. It was a very redefining run on a character that was already really well defined. David Cronenberg, Nightwing, 4077. David Cronenberg has gone on record by saying he does he does want to do a superhero movie. Let's see. Oh wait, hold on. David Cronenberg has gone on record by saying that he does want to do a superhero movie at all because he thinks superheroes and comics are crap. Well, I mean, he has done a comic book movie. History of Violence is a graphic novel. So you did a thing. And I know he didn't direct Nightbreed, but Nightbreed is basically a more horrific X-Men movie, frankly. By the way, if you haven't seen Nightwing, that's a David Cronenberg stars in it as an actor, but it is what's his name? Hellraiser. His name just flew out of my head. Clyde Barker. Thank you, Deadpoolzilla. Yeah, that's a Clyde Barker film he wrote and directed, and it's great. If you haven't, I highly recommend it. Get the Cabal cut. That's the best cut of the film. It's basically a more horrific X-Men. If the X-Men were if mutants were slightly scarier than they ordinarily were, that would be it. I really enjoyed that film a lot. And David Cronenberg plays a human villain in the movie, and he is absolutely wonderful. He's a really, really effective actor. See, I know I went off on a tangent here that has really nothing to do with anything. Omnitron, it says a lot that She-Hulk has got a lot better reception when she went to Sensational She-Hulk. When she was actually interesting and fun. Yeah, when I was a kid and they debuted She-Hulk, I was actually surprised that she wasn't exactly like Hulk, like, yelling She-Hulk smash and stuff like that. Because that's initially what I thought I was getting when I picked up a couple issues. And I was really intrigued at the fact that she was more intelligent. And then her series ended before I really got a good chance to get into it. And then she jumped over and did this Marvel 2-in-1 with The Thing, and she was hilarious, and I really loved her. And then she went to Avengers, and I've kind of just been in love with the character since then. And I love the fact that it's been a different story for her, and she's been a very interesting character. And right now she's been going through, every once in a while, to be honest, every once in a while she's been going through this thing where she has a bit of an identity crisis, and she kind of like almost seems like her cousin, and then finds her way back. And I think that's kind of what she's going through right now. But damn, I can't wait for whatever they're doing for the MCU Disney Plus show. I'm all in on that. Let's see, if you had to end a character, either Marvel or DC, who would it be, and how would you end? When I say end, I mean no more stories and an actual conclusion. Oof. Oh, that's really good. An actual conclusion, because I do have some interesting ideas. That's a great question. I don't know if I have an answer right now. I could see. You may have stumped me on that. I may have to think about that. I could see Punisher going through one last round. That could be I think I just came up with the title. One last round with Punisher. I know they did at the end with Punisher, but I didn't particularly care for it. It was that apocalyptic bullshit. Fuck that. Punisher doesn't get that. I feel like he'd be at the end of his rope and end of his favors, and I don't know. I feel like it would be kind of like the Logan movie, really, except less inspiring. So, oh, it's funny. I'm not a huge. I dislike the Punisher quite a bit, but I keep thinking I'd write the fuck out of that character. Is that weird?
No.
Because you know how much I dislike the Punisher.
Yeah, I don't like him either.
But I keep thinking, man, I could really write the fuck out of that character if I had a chance.
Maybe one of the reasons you don't like him is because he's not well written.
Maybe yeah, I guess let's see. Nightwing says Jason Todd. Well, yeah. Well, Jason Todd already had his ending, so I'd basically just copy that. Maybe Harley Quinn would cave in his skull with a baseball bat and blow him up. I think that's the only thing I'd do differently. I'm not a fan of the Jason Todd. For me, Reed Richards and let's see, Two-Face. Mine would be the end of Moon Knight, and we discovered at the end he's been in Ravencroft, and all his stories are in his head. He wants the heroes to go outside and fight. Yeah, I mean, that's a legit ending for that guy. That's actually not a bad idea. That's one of the appealing things about him. I could probably, if I know a little bit more about Moon Knight, I could probably write some Moon Knight. A more crazy Batman is fascinating to me. Let's see. Omnitron. I think the best way to think of the Punisher as a pulp hero, like the Shadow or the Avenger, Frank Castle is very much the same vein as old school 20s and 30s heroes. I would envision him differently. I would write him like a slasher villain. I would probably write stories from the vantage point of the people he kills. And I don't know. I've thought about writing a mob story where you get to know the mafia characters and maybe even like them, and Punisher is like picking them off. I've let you get to know this one mafia character. You like him? Boom, dead. Yeah, I would definitely make him the villain of his own stories. Let's see. Check out Jeff Lemire's run on Moon Knight. I had the first issue of that, and it really was cool. It wasn't able to keep up with it. Perfect exploration into his mental illness. Yeah, that's actually a good. I do have the first issue of that, and it was really good. I don't know how long he stuck with that, but we'll definitely see some more Moon Knight. Maybe I can get a chance to get more into him. He's definitely one of those outside my usual range characters that I feel like I would like. Like, the Question. Like, the Question is one of those characters like, oh, that guy's really cool. Why don't I read him all the time? And, you don't for whatever reason. Maybe because you can't, like, stretch your budget in comic book collection. You read, like, 89,000 characters a month. There are going to be those that just slip through your fingers. It's all collected in one trade. Okay, I can pick that up. Nightwing says, now I would love to read your Punisher run. Yes. I would love to write that run. I would have a lot of fun with it. I would really see, because the beauty about doing him that way is you can make him as violent as fucking possible. You don't have to do one of these things where, oh, he's not a good role model. Well, no, don't worry about it. Not a good role model. You should learn what not to do by looking at him. But yeah, I would have a lot of fun with that character. Thank you. I love the Question more than the Punisher. The Question is awesome. And man, I just want DC to do like an ongoing of the Question. And I'm talking about Vic Sage or Renee Montoya. I think they're sharing the name now. I have often thought it'd be cool, instead of sharing the name, that she'd be called The Answer. Is that a dumb name?
No.
Okay. Because it actually makes sense. Because he's the Question, he's a reporter, and she's the answer. She's a cop.
Yeah.
That's what, and they can have the same look. I mean, the same faceless thing with the coat. Of course, their jackets and coats will look different. Because she had this cool. Greg Rucka put her in this really cool, like, you know, really streamlined lady suit thing with the smaller fedora, and it looked really cool. You know, that could be, you know, her look, and he could have, like, you know, the bigger trench coat stuff, and the typical men's suit. So they'd be easily, like, identifiable from each other. Let's see. Actually, we are getting a Vic Sage series. Is it an ongoing? Or shit, I don't know. I mean, look, I'll take a mini series. I'll take it ongoing. I know I'm enjoying the Lois Lane maxi series. I guess 12 issues is a maxi series, so I'm enjoying that right now. I wrote a question story where he faced a character I created called Mr. Blank. Oh, Deadpoolzilla. I don't know if you've seen the Dick Tracy movie, but you might want to check that out. Let's see. Questions and answers. Make it happen. Yeah, I mean, look, that shit writes itself. I don't know why anybody hasn't. I feel like I'm the only person who's even thought of that. I need to be on the payroll, DC and Marvel, for your Punisher series. Let's see. It's apparently a miniseries. Has Vic Sage discovering he's reincarnated across several lives in a constant struggle for truth. Sure. Okay. I hope it's good. But oh, hey, we're at the end of the road here. We're at an hour. So I should wrap up about around now. Thank you for joining the show. You guys are great. Yeah, Deadpoolzilla. There's a character that looks very much like. You should check it out. The Dick Tracy movie from 1990. There's actually a character called the Blank. They don't call him Mr. Blank, but he's called the Blank. Check it out. Looks very much like the question, by the way. It's hilarious. Let's see. Bizarre Critic says, no joke. I thought if they didn't bring back Sage. The question, I thought Tim Drake would be a good fit, but Tim Drake is great for any part. He's the best. Omnitron, I don't mind reincarnation as a thing for a non-powered character, since it's for the most part has kind of Omnitron, just the kind of ability that lets you do a character across times. Tim Drake is almost the next Blue Beetle. Like, look, Tim Drake's the best, DC. You really should learn this. All right, so hey, like I said, I'm going to be talking more about this guy, Red Knight. The first issue. Excuse me. The first issue is going to drop for the general public September 30th. So you can buy the comic on manospublishing.com once it becomes available. And I think that's it. You can, of course, follow me on the various social networks, Twitter, Facebook. You can support the channel on Patreon. I also have an Instagram. And you can also support Lindsay's channel. You can follow her channel at the bottom of the page with my links. She's starting crafting videos. If you like crafting stuff, you should really check her out. She knows what she's doing much better than me. I'm a sham, but she is the real deal. I know. Tim Drake is Peter Parker after all. All right. Hey, guys. It's been great talking with you, and we're going to be talking next week about some stuff that happens. I really should prepare that better. We'll be talking next week about whatever happens in the world of geek. Until next time. Later.